All right. Good morning, everybody. We've got a few people here now. I'm happy about this because this is day 4 in a row, jumping on the live stream. So welcome to everybody. A little bit later today, slept in. It's okay. It's Friday. It's a long weekend. That's the good part. The bad part is if you're looking at the market today, but that's okay. We'll take it as a day. If you were waiting to do any purchases, maybe this is a good day to dollar cost average into a few of your things. I know there's been a few people on the channel leaving comments and dollar cost averaging. So on that note, the title of the live stream is VFV Dividend. So if you have VFV, that's the Vanguard S&P ETF. If you have that in your portfolio, go check out. You probably have a dividend either already there or on the way very shortly. So what I did with that is, if you've been watching and following along some of the streams, starting to do the fractional shares on Wealthsimple. So what I'm going to be doing is rolling in the dividends that I received, and I already did that this morning. So I received, there'll be I'll do an update video, obviously every month that I do my updates after the end of the month with all the dividends that come through. But I put $10.53 into a fractional purchase of VFV today. So it's down a little bit today. So we'll just dollar cost average into that one. That's the goal of the portfolio. Slow, steady. Hopefully slow and steady wins the race. So we'll see how that goes. And that's really the only purchase I'm going to make today. Not anything major. If anybody has, I've been looking, kind of checking out what's happening with the market. Jobs data was good in the States, so that that's bringing the market down because they're anticipating more rate increases, which we kind of knew was coming anyways. We don't want to get necessarily super technical on this channel, but we kind of did see this coming, whether it was going to be 25 or 50 basis points. We'll see what happens, but obviously it's going to be kind of going up, and I think looks like the market's kind of pricing that in for the next time. That being said, oil is up. So if anybody, I don't have a huge holding of oil stocks other than what's in VFV. So if anybody has oil in their portfolio, is probably happy the last couple days. That's for sure. If you've been watching the price of oil with everything that's going on in the world and with OPEC, it definitely is. It's probably a good maybe a good money maker in your portfolio. Maybe I should have had more oil, but I've decided to lean more long term into the renewables, other than what I do hold in BFE. So there we go. Sharpshooter Wrestling, good morning to you. Thanks for joining in. It's great that I know I'm a little bit later. I always say I like to try and jump on between 8 and 9. Slept in today, so nothing wrong with that. It's Friday. I get to sleep in sometimes, so that's okay. But welcome. Maybe we'll get we'll still go for around the same amount of time. And we'll see if we'll get some different people maybe coming on, but welcome. It's great to have you back on the channel, and I appreciate all your comments. Do you have VFE, a sharpshooter, in your portfolio? Because there's a dividend there. I don't know if you have checked your if you've checked your portfolio yet. Some editing. So are you a video editor or like audio? What do you do? I mean, you don't have to say if you don't want to say, obviously, but if you're a video editor, kudos to you, because I know from having a YouTube channel, video editing is hard. It's definitely hard. So there you go. You do. So you have VFE, so you got a dividend. Go check it out. There you go. So that's some good news. And you have okay, so you do have a YouTube. Hold on. I'm just going to jump over. I think I said I was going to check out your channel last time, but let me just go. I don't know if I'm subscribed or what's going on here. Is it the same? I'm going to assume it's the same name as your and sometimes it's hard to find. Let's filter by channel. Sharpshooter Wrestling. There we go. Okay, well, I'll join the golden era. Look at that. I was never huge into wrestling, but some of my friends were growing up. Like this brings back yeah, seeing that. Okay, cool. There you go. So you've got a new subscriber, Sharpshooter. There you go. And hopefully you get to I mean, I don't know what the goal is with your channel, but hopefully you meet those goals. Yeah. And Dave, good morning, 1972. Dave, 1972. Welcome. I think this is your first time commenting, I believe, if my memory serves correctly. So welcome to the channel. We're doing regular live streams, just checking in, seeing how things are going. We had a dividend today, so we're happy about that. That's about all so far on the market we're happy about. But anyways, yeah. And a huge wrestling fan. There you go. Okay. Well, hopefully your channel goes good. It's kind of fun to do a YouTube channel, that's for sure. I have this one, and it's always something new to do. So, but I don't know how you find video editing, but it's not my favorite part definitely it's not my favorite part of YouTube. So there we go, Vancouver. Yeah, I'm on the island, but I lived on the mainland too for many years. So I've been all over. But close. My family lives on the mainland. And yeah, first time. So welcome again. Yeah, editing. What program do you use, Sharpshooter, for editing your videos? Because I know that can sometimes help. I use a Mac, and I know it has iMovie. I don't use iMovie. I use Adobe Premiere. It's expensive though, but I have the suite because I'm big into photography as well. I don't know if a lot of people know. Some people know on the channel, but I have another channel, YouTube channel, where I have a bunch. This is like my side channel, I guess, and my main channel I do a lot of photography, not video, but photography. So I have the Adobe suite because of Adobe Lightroom, and it comes obviously with Adobe Premiere. But then for work, I also use all the Adobe stuff for PDFs and stuff because of work. So I have the whole like full on suite. It's expensive those, but it's close to, it ends up being close to $100, especially with the way the US dollar is right now. But I find it's handy, but it's definitely very technical. Yeah. So if you do, and if you're in Langley, yeah, I know Langley. I have friends in Langley. iMovie's great though. I used it for a long time. If you have a Mac, it's quite good. I haven't used it in a long time, so it's probably technologically improved, or it's probably got a lot of new features because I haven't used it in years, but I have used it before. It's pretty easy. So yeah, great. It just practice, I think, with editing. I'm not an expert by any means, but I get by. I have big respect for video editors that have the patience to be able to do it, believe me. So yeah, it's a monthly, they do it as a cloud, like monthly subscription now. I think you used to be able to buy it, but as everything is switching to monthly subscriptions, it's which adds up, right? It's like, holy cow, all your stupid subscriptions. Cut off half your subscriptions and put it in the market. I think it works out. There's different plans you can buy. You'd have to double check what is offered, because if you just get the video, like you can break it down and it has like packages. So if you get like everything, it's obviously the most expensive, but it just really depends on what Adobe programs you do use. So that kind of, if you just had Premiere, what you should check out if you have a Mac, Sharpshooter, check out DaVinci Resolve, because there's a free version of that, which is quite good, I hear. So check that out. DaVinci Resolve. I don't know what model computer you have. It runs on most Macs, but I think you need a pretty heavy duty one as well, much like with Premiere. But check that out. DaVinci Resolve has a free version, but there's also a paid version you can buy and own. But I think the free version does a lot of stuff already that you don't need to actually, for now, like for just doing what you're probably trying to do on the channel would be fine. So check that out. The only reason I haven't used DaVinci Resolve is it's obviously like there's always that learning curve between new applications, and also for Adobe I use the other programs anyway, so I'm going to have the subscription anyway, so stick with one thing. But there's also lots of tutorials on YouTube with all these programs. That's where I kind of learn stuff. Yeah. So yeah, if you're upgrading, I mean, I use a Mac. If you're upgrading, make sure you get as much RAM as possible. That's the best thing I would suggest with, especially if you're doing video. But I hear the new ones are really good for it as well. I use them. I have an iMac. It's not the newest iMac by any means. It's probably about 3 or 4 years old now. I have to look. I can't even remember. It's a 27. So 2020. So almost 3 years. But it was the iMac, and it would be a good one to get if you could find it used, actually, because it was like the iMac model. It wasn't the top of the line at the time, but it was the midline. But it was one of the only ones that you could actually upgrade the RAM on your own without having to do it through Apple. So it worked out actually cheaper to get the mid one, go buy your own RAM and put it in, and it was faster than the top Apple one. So that was that. So it works well. Happy with it so far. Knock on wood, works. And yeah, fractional shares. Yeah, it's good suggestions. That's why I jump on these streams, and I've learned a lot on from everybody's comments. It's just nice to see. It's nice to see what you always think, like, oh my god, my portfolio is like, it's like in the dumper, but it's like everybody's in the same boat. So it's kind of, I wouldn't say it's nice to see that, but it's nice to kind of know that there's other people that are having the same, feelings and concerns and everything with their portfolio, and learning things like, hey, why don't you just do this instead of waiting to buy a share? Do your fractional shares. Because I just had some weird hang up about having a fraction of share, but it doesn't really, it's kind of stupid. So there we go. That's what I'll be doing, rolling in. Now, some of the ones in my portfolio don't allow to buy fractional shares, but they're kind of the lower priced ones anyways. So it won't make too much difference. I'll be able to just add a little bit and at least buy one, like RNW isn't fractional. The Slate office REIT isn't fractional, but RioCan's fractional. I think actually, if I look, I think most, like a lot of things on Wealthsimple are actually fractional now. So in my portfolio, like Brookfield Renewables is fractional. RioCan is. Telus is fractional. BTC.Y is fractional, and so everything is basically fractional that I'm buying, except for TransAlta Renewables and the Bitcoin ones, but those aren't that expensive. And the Slate office REIT isn't, but that's only trades around $4.50, between $4.55 all the time. So yeah. Athabasca Oil, it's okay for a smaller oil company, but Canadian. Yeah, I don't know. I've been looking at some of the ETFs, some of the oil ETFs a little bit, but I haven't jumped in. You'll see my portfolio, so I haven't jumped into any of them. It's hard to say. It's like oil. I do think oil is going to keep going up. Like, I mean, today, the last couple days, it's up 90, it's up 91.45. So it's been up like the last, in the last 5 days, it's like, it's gone up quite a bit. I think it's going to keep going up just with everything going on. But I haven't pulled that trigger. I don't know. So VFV, yeah, it's down. If it's time, yeah, makes it. I mean, at least I guess put the dividend back in. Yeah. That's a good question, Justin. How do dividends work with fractional shares? Like, it works out. It's just you receive a fraction of the dividend, so it all works out. It all works out in the end. You just would get less. You would just get less of a dividend. So if you're looking on a website or something on how much the dividend is going to pay, like VFV, I think it paid 30. What was VFV's dividend? 30 cents. It was actually decent this time. It's a quarterly dividend, so it was 31 0.3192 cents. So it was up 13.56% from the month before. So you would get basically a fraction of that with how that would work, which would be, since it's a fraction of a share, it's like, it would almost be very minimal. You know, you'd be getting like fractions of a cent, so pretty much, but you're getting it still. So yeah, correct. Yeah. So kind of splitting at that point, kind of splitting pennies, but it all works out. You'll get it. They don't take it. Yeah. So sharpshooters buying VFV. Justin, are you looking to get anything today, or do you have VFV in your portfolio? Because if you do, you could actually go pick up a fractional share right now. Yeah. Sharpshooter, how long have you been? I'm going to check your channel here. So since 2017, how long have you been actively doing your channel? I can look. Date added, oldest. Oh, you just about a month. Ah. That's good. 200 and something subscribers for about a month is good. Nothing wrong with that. Doing a good. The first 1,000 is always the hardest, because you kind of pay attention to it more. That's what I find. And you just recently. Okay, yeah, just a few months. So you're doing yeah, that's great. If you've got if you've got 221 subscribers now, and you've just been going for a month, so that's pretty good. What I find I know what I find with the channel is like it goes in, like, goes up and then it kind of levels off, and then it goes up and then it levels off, and it kind of goes up. It's never like I mean, I wouldn't say everybody, but I think most channels are kind of like, it's like a slow and steady. It's like much like building your portfolio. You just have to slowly build that, and it's a grind. I understand that. The first 1,000 is always the hardest. Because you're trying to, obviously, I'm going to assume you want to try and get monetized on your channel to get some extra money to put into the market, right? Like that's the kind of goal of this one. But the hardest part is the 1,000, and then also you want to make sure that you need the hours of watched, where I don't have that yet. So that's what makes me have to double down and do more videos, do more live streams, more videos, just be a bit more active on the channel. My other channel that I have, I got the watch hours. It's weird how different content and topics work, but I had the watch hours far before I had my 1,000 subscribers. So it's just funny how that works out. But the difference I've noticed with this one, it's a lot more community and a lot more regulars coming in, because you can see it in the comments, the same people, whereas sometimes I guess other topics don't have the same. People aren't necessarily looking for the same kind of community, I guess. But that's what's kind of neat about this channel, because we see the same, the same people all the time, which is great, joining in. I mean, I still do on the other one, but a little bit different. Yeah, consistency and time, that's it. And you just have to keep at it. It's a grind. And you see it, you feel, I see lots of people, like, I know I do follow a lot of other finance channels and everything else. And it's a grind, because there's no, I mean, I would say there's no benefit to doing it. You're learning, like I did it to try and learn a little bit of investing, which I have done. And it's kind of like, the whole goal isn't to make a fortune selling, advertising. It's just to learn for me. So it kind of worked out that way. But it's you have to just be, what I've learned is, you'll find, like Sharpshooter, you'll find a community, right? Like, or YouTube finds it kind of for you, finds the people that are interested in you, in your topic. And I don't know, I'll have to watch some of your videos. I can't watch them when it's live here, but are you in your videos, or are you just kind of cutting stuff together? Because I find a channel always works better if your face is there somehow too, because people will really kind of people relate to that better. Yeah. But you do kind of funny. Yeah. You just find people that have the same thing. Other than I get the only ones that aren't the same is I get the Bitcoin haters on the comments telling me to sell everything. That's the only. Okay, so you do like over commentary, no face. Okay, yeah. You should try. I mean, I don't know. It's up to you. Everybody's different. The weirdest thing is the weirdest thing is like if you go back and look at first videos of any channel and they're in there, it's like it's always super awkward when you first start doing it. And the weirdest thing is actually editing yourself and listening to yourself. You got headphones on, you're trying to edit, you're listening to your own voice. But once that hurdle takes a few videos, and then you don't even, it doesn't even phase you. You just chop them together, and you're like, it's just like working with any other audio sound. You just kind of, you don't even necessarily, for me anyways, you don't even realize it's yourself. That being said, I don't necessarily go back and watch my videos other than when you're editing them. I'm not going to go sit down and watch it myself talk, but so that's why I get why some, like, if it's like an act, not that I'm an actor, but like I get why some actors don't want to see their movies because it's kind of weird, but you get over it. But yeah. Yeah. Okay, so you're gonna do the stream. So you're not try. Okay, yeah, so you'll get there. That's always the thing too. Like I've recently moved, so my new place. Well, this is a screen, but I just my regular videos. It's just the background, but I have to work on that because I've just actually spent the last two years kind of moving around a lot, just for certain family reasons. So I haven't been like in a set studio for very long, for any period of time. That's why kind of the screen works in basically a plain background a lot of times. Just seems, but now that I'm a bit more settled for a bit, it will start to improve. I got to get some soundproofing. There's a window I have that's, that I need to kind of black out a bit more so I don't get the reflections. One thing you notice is I have glasses, you get the reflections of the window in my glasses, and I have to black that out, which I'll work on. Now in the live stream, it's obviously the computer screen, which I can't really do anything about that much other than kind of, if I'm not looking straight at the camera, it's better because you can see my eyes actually. So, and Justin, yeah, you should, because if I'm not mistaken, you're going to school to be a in the financial industry, right? If I'm planning to try, that's a good idea, because I mean, I haven't been in high school obviously for a long time, but when I was in high school, they don't teach a lot of stuff, and they don't teach a lot of the basics that a lot of people need to know. And I think that would be that's a good idea. I think that's the biggest thing, is that young people should be taught these things a lot better, because I know they don't get that necessarily. You don't pick it up growing up you pick it up from your parents don't necessarily teach you. You pick up their habits sometimes, and those habits might not be good for a lot of people. So that's a good idea. Talking about, I think the biggest thing is talking about people's credit and understanding how their credit is going to affect them down the road, and coming out of high school, getting student loans, how these are going to possibly impact you if you don't pay them, things like that. Yeah, that's a good idea. That'd be a good channel. I think that'd be good. I think young people kind of need to see that, if you could find a good way to do it that isn't too lectury. And finally, Candace, welcome. Well, finally, welcome to the channel. I think a lot of the people watching Candace are on your channel already, but if you're not, go check out Candace's channel. She gets down in technical and down and dirty about stocks, much better than I could ever do. So if you're looking for a bit more in-depth analysis on different ETFs and stocks, and go check out Candace's channel for sure. She just passed 1,000 subscribers, so congratulations as well. Beat me by a day. There we go. Okay, the journey, yeah, for the channel, yeah. Oh, and thanks, yeah. I don't spend. I mean, they're not like spectacular productions by any means, but each one kind of gets a little bit better. That's kind of the goal, I think, to learn. If you just learn along the way, it's kind of fun. If you enjoy doing it, it's not for everybody. I get why people would maybe film a video and then send it to an editor. If I could afford that, I would do it. Believe me. And there we go. So school, yeah, taxes, credit card interest. Credit cards is a big thing. People don't. And we were talking a little bit about this yesterday in terms of living. People have been, I think, living beyond their means for a long time because we had low rates for so long, right? And now it's starting to now rates are going up for people. And if you have, credit card debt, line of credit debt, car payments were usually they've been low interest for a while. That being said, car payments, I know rates of car payment, I always look at the newest cars to price them out, and I think I don't need a new car that bad. I know the rates have gone up there as well, but it's people have to realize, yeah, it's just living. People living on credit is not a good thing. And then something like the last year happens, and it's like it starts to hurt because all of a sudden everything is more expensive, and then your interest rates are going up on the debt that you have because you wanted to buy that brand new TV and just put it on your credit card because you wanted it now instead of saving up for it for 6 months. Then yeah, so they need to teach that. I think they need to teach people that, kids that more. And I think too, Justin, teaching, I mean, maybe my channel can help a little bit. Like, I mean, I'm older obviously, but if someone just gets their first job and puts in 5% or 1% of what they're making into something, by the time they're my age or into their 50s and ready to almost retire, they would be in a really good position, which I wish I did better. And I think a lot of people probably do. But then things come up, right? Like life comes up, and you have to dip into your investments for whatever reason, right? It's never easy. But so the bookshelf. Well, the bookshelf is I could do the bookshelf for my regular things, but I have to move around my camera. I'll figure it out. This is not a real bookshelf, so it could actually be anything. One thing I find, and this is an editing thing, sharpshooter, is when I'm doing a live stream, it's easy because it does it for you. But if I'm doing a green screen and then having to edit, just the way I set up, it's quicker to do it live without a screen, right? Because if I do it as a green screen and edit my videos, because I have it's obviously the different layers, because I have my background. If you're watching my regular videos, my background kind of moves around. It's kind of that pinky color, so that goes in the background. And then I have the app that shows the screen. So there's a screen recording, and then there's my recording. So those are all layers. But when I have to do a green screen, adds another layer. So I have to edit, and I have to take the green screen out, move everything, it takes longer to edit. And that's why it's easier just to jump. That's one thing I've learned about YouTube. If you can simplify your process as much as possible, you'll be able to do more videos. And YouTube likes when you do videos for views. So, yeah. Oh, okay. That's a good idea. Yeah. So an actual background. Yeah. I could do that too if I had, I in front of me which is normally the back wall, but, and which I have to do. I have pictures and stuff to hang up, that kind of stuff. I just haven't done it yet. But if you can get away without doing green screen stuff, sometimes makes life or editing life a lot simpler, quicker. That's part of the reason just going back to regular. This was my desk. It's just kind of a normal. So Elgato Plus. Okay. Yeah, that's a video like input card, I think. I've heard of it, but I'm not. So for that, yeah. So for live streaming, I just go on. I use right now. I have an account with StreamYard, which I'm debating whether to cancel or not because it's pretty expensive for what it gives me. I find I'll have to look around and see if I can find something better. I don't know if anybody has any suggestions with that, but it's simple. Like it works well, so that you got to pay for it, but we'll see. Although I told them this is a little hack. If you have StreamYard, I canceled my subscription. So I have it for another month just to give it a try. You can join again anytime, doesn't matter. But then they came to me and said, "Oh, we'll give you the same features, but you have to put their logo on it or whatever." So they give you extra features you can do, but I'll see. Other than having the logo, I could say I'm sponsored by StreamYard. Yeah, everybody always wonders if it's real. Yeah. It's green. Doesn't work so well with the camera on the live, but on a regular camera, if you're filming it, it was fine. But actually, there's two versions. So if you're eagle-eyed, this color is green screen. But if you go back and try and find it in my videos. I had a white bookshelf. That was actually a print, and you can actually get prints of, like, if you don't want to do the green screen, you can get prints of a bookshelf on Amazon. So there's prints of like an office. There's a forest. You could get they're like background prints, and they're like on a cloth. They're much like a green screen, but they just have a print of something. So that will actually save some time editing with the green screen. So fun fact there. I haven't. You know what? I haven't. Other than that, the fractional thing, I should look. What's going on here? Is it that bad? Yeah, it's pretty ugly. What's BTC.Y doing? BTC.Y was only down a little bit. This is the thing. By the end of the day, it might be back to flat. That seems to be like our MO, right? You lose half through the day, and then it comes back. Yeah, Telus is up. Good lighting on Greece. Yeah, this so kind of. I think this is not real. This is green screen. This is like through StreamYard. But yeah, I have a big light as well. I should put, if you're interested, you can just drop me a comment or send an email through the website or through the YouTube if you want. I can send you a link to the gear that I use for my regular videos. I do want to improve the camera on the live streams. This is the iMac camera, which I think is decent, but I have a proper camera that I could actually stream in HD better. I think this is HD now, 1080, but if I had a proper camera and proper, I think better setup it that way, because it's my regular DSLR, like not a mirrorless camera, it would give me a bit better quality and I can control it a bit better. That's in the works. Oh, you could spend forever trying to edit your studio, and you spend too much time working on it and not actually making videos, which is worse. One thing people is make sure you get the mic, the audio. That's the big thing too. So Telus is up today. Yeah, I saw that. I just was looking here. The one green in the C, which is okay, and oil. I know, Candace, if you're here, you're probably watching. You're probably watching your. I know you're big on. I think what you mentioned in your stream was doing the oil day trading. So you're probably doing good today, I'm gonna assume. Maybe, depending how or what you bought in the last couple of days. I don't know if you, but I think anybody that has, it's Anso Sharpshooter Athabasca oil. So there we go. Candace day trading oil right now. Yeah, making millions. Too scary for me. But good for you, as long as it's working. What to do? You have to come on one of these days when you're not busy. You'll have to come on and do, or you probably have it on your channel, is an explainer on how to read charts, because it confuses the heck out of me. We'll see. Usually I buy, it comes down. So you could trade, you could like short whatever I buy. Day trading is hard work. That's definitely. So there you go. This shows there. I put $900 in the day. There you go. You could. It's 9:30. I think you're in Ottawa, so it's 12:30. You could cut out right now at lunch. Call it a day. Yeah. Call it a day. So don't listen to what I buy. Listen to what Candace buys. That's good. And yeah, so everybody, yeah, should have an ETF, Candace. Now I think, if I'm not mistaken, Candace has a newsletter she puts out. I signed up, but I haven't. She maybe hasn't sent it for a while, but she would give some kind of good little nuggets and tips there of what she's kind of looking at. I don't know. There's no right or wrong to invest, other than don't invest money on. Don't go leveraging if you're not savvy. But there's no right or wrong thing, I think, to invest in. But if you want to try and play it a bit smarter, and want to do the research, I think maybe you could learn a bit from Candace's newsletter and channel. I'm just a slow and steady for stuff, but we'll see. But everything is except Telus. There we go. And Candace, if you're consulting services, you can. Oh, okay. So if your newsletter template, I see. You could check out MailChimp, Candace. Although unfortunately, hopefully they don't have your database, because that would suck. But MailChimp is decent for mailouts, or even doing I think you probably have an email for your YouTube channel. Like you probably have you have to have a Google account. So if you have a Gmail for that, send one out with a list, like with all do it obviously BCC. Don't send everybody's email, but you could do it as a plain text. I'm happy to get plain text emails with stuff. Just makes things simple. Yeah. It makes it easy to view on your phone, and that might be an idea. People might appreciate that. Keep it short and to the point. You could also link to stuff. You can put links. You can put links into a couple of your videos if you're talking about it. Do it that way. Do it with plain text. That would probably get to people. I would read it. So there's one. You get too many emails, and you really just, you delete them. Like if you go, you get too much spam and junk, you just delete them. But if you get a plain text from someone, like personally, it's Candace from Mountain Finance, and I probably would read it more than getting hidden, because I know I use Gmail and it gets hidden in those tabs sometimes with email providers. So fractional day for a few. Yeah, good. Nothing wrong with that. It's Friday. Yeah. I'll have to check. It's payday today for me, but I have to get car insurance. So that's going to put a damper on things. And then tomorrow I have to get my tires switched as well. So that's another chunk of money that would be better off putting it in somewhere, but such is life with a budget. But yeah. So we'll see what happens with today. I think we're going to be down on the day here. It's still early though. Anything could happen. That's what's kind of I find fascinating. Sometimes I just don't understand why. I just don't understand why anything does what it actually does. So, but just roll in the dividend and keep on going. There we go. Well, thanks for watching. This, I think, is probably the most comments we've had on one of the streams so far. So that's great. And I found a new channel to kind of check out. I'm going to check out your channel, Sharpshooter, after. I'll watch a couple videos, see how that goes. You probably get a lot of views because people are into wrestling. I found my views and with a finance channel drop off. It flows with the market, which is really interesting, which makes sense obviously too. If people aren't into investing, as much when the market's down, it seems, right? Like FOMO. So the views are down, and subscriber, like it slows down, which I found really interesting. But I was reading an article, and I think I mentioned this before. Retail traders are starting to really get into doing shorts. So the prediction now is the bottom is close because everybody's getting into it now when they probably shouldn't be. I don't know what your thoughts on that are, Candace, if you're still watching. I don't know if you read that article. I'd have to dig it up and find it. See if I can find it. No, I should have saved it. It was basically saying, no, I cannot find it. Another one I got sent this morning, which is interesting, and I have to dig up who I follow on Twitter, and it drives me crazy they don't always put their sources out. I follow Bitcoin Magazine on Twitter, and they always tweet something, but then they never put a link to their sources. It drives me mental. But apparently there's a survey done in Canada that 30% of Canadians intend to buy Bitcoin in the next year. So that's interesting. I don't know how many people are watching that have Bitcoin. Everybody kind of knows that I'm kind of into it on the channel. I know Candace sold hers. I watched on her live stream, which I found interesting. But then she's making money. I think she put it in to do her day trading stuff. So good for her. Good. I think a good decision there, because I think Bitcoin's going to be flat for a while. But I don't know. I don't read the charts necessarily on it, but it's probably going to be. Bitcoin does what Bitcoin does when it goes up. It goes fast. So you just have to keep an eye on it, Candace. I guess if you're going to come back into it, we'll see. But if anybody, how many people watching have, I guess, either in their portfolio some type of ETF, or on maybe Shakepay on an exchange, or in your own wallet in Bitcoin? We'd like to hear that. Get a poll in the channel. So there we go. New subscriber from Dave. Yeah, Calgary. Wasn't it like Calgary Stampede Wrestling? Yeah. Back in the day. Yeah, eventually. Yeah. I just get, Candace, I just buy it every day. Like a small, say, not very much. I just do a dollar cost average of it every day, small amount, through Shakepay. And then after, usually every week or so, I kick it and I transfer it over to my wallet. Yeah, I have a ledger with all my other stuff on it too. So, and it's kind of I like that, because for me, I just don't you buy an amount every day. You don't really pay attention to the price. And then after the week is up, I transfer it into my hard wallet. and then I forget about it. I don't even look at it. So I'm not really too concerned about the short-term volatility of it, which lately is actually not that terrible. I think, what is it, in September it outperformed the S&P, so not that bad after all. It's been literally $20,000 for, I think, how many months now. So it's kind of just slow and steady build it, see what happens. We'll either be happy in 20 years or it'll all be for nothing, but we'll have fun along the way. And yeah, I know there's wrestlers. We'll turn into a wrestling page. So good. Got new subscribers there. That's good. That's awesome. A lot of people. There's a few people on the channel that follow along that do have other channels. So it's great. Help each other out because it's hard. It's grind. It's a grind. And yeah. Okay, so BTC.Y, because of you, ETC. Don't follow everything I do. Make sure it's for you. Definitely. Like, don't buy anything that a YouTuber says without digging into it a bit deeper. But good, yeah. I said it a bit on the videos. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with diversifying into anything, really, because it diversifies your portfolio, and you just, you never know what's going to happen. I think it's going to go up, but I do like the oh, here, sold. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good call. Yeah, sold ETC. ETC was doing quite well, but it's just because it's just the market, right? It'll hopefully come back. I have been putting into BTC.Y, as you know, because of the dividend, but I will get back into ETC again because I'll have some Ethereum, Bitcoin, and I think the yield one is obviously, I think, a longer term hold. You're not necessarily gonna, I mean, never say never, but probably not going to want to sell for a long time, but just keep getting dividends. Whereas I think the ETC is maybe going to be a bit more fluid in terms of, if it does go up, it's something I would probably sell for sure as well. If it comes up and makes a bit, and I will still add to it. I just haven't been, just trying to build up the dividends, because the dividends are good on it. If you can handle the volatility in the meantime, it's decent. Okay, that's what some people do as well. So S. Sharma, welcome to the channel. I think this is your first time commenting as well, so welcome. Not into it, if anything. So you may buy some high hold. Yeah, that's what I think a lot of people do. They get into the mining stuff first because it's maybe something a bit more they understand. I don't have any in my TFSA. I don't have any of the miners in there, so it's not something I've really. I mean, I haven't done a lot of research on them or no, but yeah, I find it interesting. Definitely, it's an interesting market. Yeah, I think it will. It depends on what Bitcoin does. So if your outlook on that is high, it will come back. It will come back to its highs. When I have no idea. I think once the market turns, it's still tied a lot to the market, for better or worse, for the most part. So as soon as I think the market gets a bit more people wanting to go with more risk, it will go. But in the meantime, I mean, if you can dollar cost average into it, if you're at the percentage of your portfolio that you want it to be, the dividends are good, and they hopefully will continue. I mean, obviously the dividends have dropped, but I'm still happy about it. Yeah, and yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, and that's what it does. I think the way we're doing right now, out there. I think if it was like nobody knows really, but everybody's like it's going to go down to 10,000. It's going to go to zero. Everybody's like, you get the comments. I get the channel on a lot. Is like it's going to go to why you buy that? It's stupid. A lot of people just don't like it because they don't understand it, and that's fine. It's fine to not want to buy something. It's your money, right? But I do think it on the next one, yeah. But then it'll come back. But I think if we've been at roughly 20 US for so long now, I don't think it's I don't want to say never, but I think if it was gonna go lower, it probably would have by now, just with the way the market is. Yeah, and I think more into. I mean, Ethereum. Yeah, I don't follow Ethereum as much, but probably will go up because it trails, right? Yeah. Yeah, the BTC.Y dividend comes, I think, on the 10th or 11th. So probably early next week. Yeah. So I like to roll that in. It's always nice. A lot of people buy that one. I want to buy more of it, just not enough money. So we'll see. And yeah, first time. And again, welcome. It's great. Now, I guess, Sharpshooter, do you have any, just, I don't say regular Bitcoin, but Bitcoin? Do you use Shakepay or anything like that just to buy Bitcoin, or just have it in your TFSA? I don't think you mentioned that, because I think it's probably a decent idea to own some as well, some regular Bitcoin, just Bitcoin. The technology behind it is fascinating. If you're not invested in it, you should at least look at it, and not looking at it to invest in, but just looking at it from it, just to research on what it is and what it does and what it solved. It's pretty interesting. It's you control it, so I can send it to anybody. No one can say no. I can move it anywhere, take it with me anywhere. So as a store of value like that, not so much necessarily in Canada, but you read in the news, like countries that, we don't go into bad news, but like look at Iran right now. No, sorry, not Iran, Lebanon, where people are like holding up the banks to get their own money out because they have to pay for things. And it's like, if you had Bitcoin, you could just use it. So it's interesting. I don't know. We'll see what happens in the next little while with it. I always find it interesting. I read up on El Salvador and what they're doing, some of the use of, some of the benefits of it for countries that aren't as fortunate as us in Canada, right? Countries where people can't have bank accounts, women can't have, there's countries in Africa, like there's countries in the world where people, if you're a woman, you can't have a bank account, but you can have on your phone, you can access Bitcoin. So I think it's we don't see it. We don't necessarily see the and it's a good point. Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly why government banks are scared of it. You can't control it. And that's for better or worse, right? There's obviously, the argument always is like it can be used for nefarious means, but the flip side is so can dollars, right? So can cash. So that's not really an argument, but it's interesting to see how other countries it's such a benefit for, and maybe that will come into North America as well down the road. We'll see. Just interesting. That's about all. Yeah. So we're coming up. We started late, so we're going a bit we're not going longer than an hour, but we started about quarter to 8, so we're closing up on the hour. So I just want to thank everybody for coming on. So many good comments today, lots of good comments, new viewers. S. Sharma, thanks, new viewer. We also had Candace jumping in at now she's probably gone back to work in her day trading. But Candace, thanks for coming first time, and again, all the regular sharpshooter. We'll do this more. Obviously, it's coming up for the weekend, so the plan isn't necessarily to jump on the weekend, but we'll see. We'll see how everything pans out today. If I do any purchases, I did, like I said, I did that fractional share purchase, so I'll post that on the community tab just to let everybody know. If you're not, obviously you're watching the stream, but if you weren't watching the stream, then you would see. But I also have been asked a little bit about a couple of questions on the channel about the Wealthsimple venture fund. So I'm going to be doing a video on that later, and I'll post that on the channel, regular video, because there should be a dividend coming through from that one, I think today or probably by tomorrow. So as soon as that comes in, if people are watching that want to have some interest in that, I will post that. So that will be going on. That's actually the one that's doing okay because it's all US dollars right now. So the US dollars is doing well. So I'll update on that. And if I have some time over the weekend, it is a long weekend. So markets are closed on Monday. So, but I'll probably try and jump on. The goal is to kind of get into doing one of these, at least trying to do every day. Don't hold me to it by any means, but we'll see how that goes. So thanks a lot. And we got one last question here. There to go. Yeah, it was Sharpshooter that told me to gets me onto them. So thank you. I appreciate it. Learn something and get doing it. So we'll leave it with that. Thanks again for everybody. It's Friday. Hopefully you have a good rest of the day. My work day is just about to start. Candace's work day is over. She's cutting and running and making some money. She'll be out at the restaurants tonight buying dinners for everybody. But thanks for watching, everybody. Really appreciate it on the channel. If you didn't catch it, I did do an update on the TFSA portfolio yesterday. So that's on the channel as well. So you can kind of see how that did. Obviously it's going to be down again as of today, but you can see how we were doing yesterday, which is always, if it's interesting, if you want to catch that as well. That's all. Have a great long weekend, and we'll catch you all in the next live stream or the next video. Cheers, everybody.